Ever feel like your relationships lack a spark? Like you're just going through the motions, stuck in neutral? The truth is, attraction thrives on emotional intensity. And today, we're diving into how you can become an emotional magnet in any relationship. Think about the last time you felt truly alive in a relationship. Was it during a quiet, predictable moment, or when something unexpected made your heart race? That's the power of polarizing emotions. It's not about conflict or drama. It's about creating moments that leave a lasting impression. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, Mike, was the nice guy. Always agreeable, never challenged anything. His girlfriend eventually admitted that she felt bored. Not because Mike wasn't great, but because he didn't stir any strong emotions. Fast forward, he learned to shake things up. Like when she suggested they binge watch a series, he countered with, "How about we turn off the TV and have a cook-off instead?" It wasn't dramatic, but it was different, and it brought laughter and connection back into their relationship. Next time your partner suggests something routine, propose an alternative, not to oppose them, but to add excitement. Remember, unpredictability is exciting. Instead of a simple yes or no, respond with humor or curiosity. For example, if she says, "I'm so bad at this game," try, "Well, you're beating me, so what does that say about me?" Playful teasing creates emotional highs. Polarizing emotions isn't about being a rebel, it's about engaging deeper. But what happens when you take it to the next level, when you master the art of emotional contrast? Let's talk about that in a moment. Number 1, the emotional contraster. Here's something most people don't realize. Emotional contrast isn't just a tool, it's the secret sauce of unforgettable relationships. When you learn to balance highs and lows in a way that feels natural, you create depth and excitement that others can't resist. Think of it this way. If every day were sunny, you'd stop appreciating the sunshine. It's the occasional rain that makes the sun feel warmer. The same principle applies in relationships. Introducing emotional contrast keeps things interesting and keeps the spark alive. I once met a couple, Sarah and James. They were madly in love, but over time, things became flat. Sarah described their days as monotonous harmony. James decided to shake things up. Instead of their usual Friday night dinner at the same restaurant, he planned a surprise hike at sunset. At one point, they got lost, which led to playful banter, a little frustration, and then a magical view they'd never forget. That one experience brought a rush of emotions that reignited their connection. Why does this work? It's all about the brain's reward system. Emotional highs, followed by calmer moments, release dopamine, the feel-good chemical associated with attraction. Think roller coasters. The excitement of the ride makes the calm after more satisfying. Plan something that pushes both of you out of your comfort zones. A dance class, a trivia night, or even karaoke. The mix of excitement and awkwardness will create shared memories you'll laugh about for years. Be the source of unexpected joy. Out of nowhere, leave a note with a sweet or cheeky message in her bag, or text her something like, "Remember when we got lost on that hike? Still the best view I've ever had." Small surprises create emotional peaks. Relatable tip for daily life. Even in mundane moments, you can add contrast. Say you're both tired after work. Instead of collapsing on the couch, suggest a quick walk or make a game out of who can cook the fastest dinner. It's about breaking the ordinary with small bursts of fun. So now you've got the basics of emotional contrast. But what about those moments when emotions run high and things feel intense? That's where emotional mastery comes into play. Let's explore that next. Number 2, mastering emotional polarization, turning conflict into connection. Here's the thing about strong emotions. They're a double-edged sword. Handled well, they can deepen your connection and amplify attraction. But if you let them spiral out of control, they can drive a wedge between you. Emotional mastery is the skill that turns intense moments into powerful bonding opportunities. Understanding emotional mastery. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing your feelings or avoiding conflict. It's about staying composed, knowing when to push and when to pull back. Think of it as steering a ship through stormy seas, not avoiding the storm, but navigating it with confidence. Take Kevin, for example. He and his girlfriend had a blowout argument about something small, leaving the lights on. Instead of escalating, Kevin took a moment, stayed calm, and said, "You're right. I didn't think about how that annoys you. I'll be more mindful." Then, he added with a smile, "But let's admit, leaving the fridge open is your thing." His response diffused the tension with humor, and instead of arguing, they ended up laughing. The situation went from heated to heartwarming. When emotions run high, people often mirror each other's energy. By staying calm and grounded, you lead the interaction toward resolution instead of escalation. This creates trust and shows emotional strength, which is incredibly attractive. Actionable advice: pause before reacting. When you feel your emotions bubbling up, pause for a moment. Take a breath and ask yourself, what's the outcome I want here? This small delay can help you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Use empathy as a tool. Instead of jumping to defend yourself, try saying, "I understand why you feel that way. Let's figure this out together." Showing that you care about her feelings shifts the focus from conflict to connection. Turn tension into playfulness. When appropriate, use humor to lighten the mood. For example, if she's upset because you forgot something, say, "You're right. I need to step up my game. Maybe I'll write myself a reminder on my forehead." Humor breaks down walls and makes disagreements less serious. When you master your emotions, you create a safe space for your partner to do the same. Real-life exercise. Here's a quick exercise to boost your emotional mastery. Next time you feel frustrated, instead of reacting immediately, write down what you're feeling and why. Then, think of one way to address the issue positively. This simple habit trains your brain to process emotions constructively. But what if you want to go even further, creating moments so memorable that she'll think about them for years? That's where the art of emotional storytelling comes in. Number 3, the emotional storyteller. Here's a secret most people overlook. We're all wired to connect through stories. If you can master the art of emotional storytelling, you won't just be interesting, you'll be unforgettable. Stories are what turn ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. Think about the last time someone told you a great story. You probably felt like you were right there with them, living the experience. That's the magic of storytelling. It creates a shared emotional journey. And when you can do this in your relationships, it strengthens your bond in ways most people can't imagine. Start with emotion. Instead of jumping straight into what happened, set the stage with how it made you feel. For example, "I've never been more nervous in my life." Instantly hooks your listener. Include a conflict or challenge. Every good story has a moment of tension or uncertainty. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's just deciding whether to ask someone out or a funny misunderstanding, but it keeps your audience engaged. Finish your story with a lesson or a reflection. For instance, "That experience taught me that even the scariest moments can bring people closer together." This makes your story meaningful and memorable. Studies show that when we hear stories, our brains release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is why stories aren't just entertaining. They actually create emotional connections at a chemical level. Practical tips. You don't need epic adventures to tell a great story. Something as simple as the time you accidentally spilled coffee on yourself at an important meeting can be hilarious if you describe it with emotion and detail. Focus on her reaction. As you tell your story, pay attention to her cues. Is she laughing? Lean into the humor. Is she leaning forward? Add more suspense. Stories are a two-way interaction. Encourage her to share. After your story, invite her to share something similar. Say, "Have you ever had a moment like that?" This turns the conversation into a shared experience. Now that you know how to captivate her with stories, let's take it a step further. How can you make these moments lead to something even deeper, where she feels truly understood and connected? That's where emotional resonance comes into play. Number 4, the emotional resonator. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone just gets you? You walk away feeling understood, validated, and closer to that person. That's emotional resonance, one of the most powerful tools for building deep connections and lasting attraction. Emotional resonance is about aligning with someone's feelings, not just hearing their words. It's the difference between saying, "That sucks," and saying, "I can imagine how hard that must have been for you." When you resonate with someone emotionally, you're not just part of the conversation, you're part of their experience. Let me give you an example. A guy named Matt shared this with me. His girlfriend was having a rough day at work and vented about how her boss was being unfair. Instead of jumping to solutions or saying, "That's just how work is," Matt said, "That sounds so frustrating. I can see why you'd feel unappreciated after working so hard." Her response? She hugged him and said, "Thank you for understanding." That's emotional resonance in action. When you resonate with someone emotionally, you're showing empathy, which builds trust. But it goes deeper than that. It makes her feel seen and valued, which is incredibly attractive. It's not about agreeing with everything. It's about being present and validating her experience. How to create emotional resonance. Listen to understand, not respond. Too often we listen just to prepare our reply. Instead, focus entirely on what she's saying. What emotions is she expressing? Is she frustrated, excited, or nervous? Reflect back. Her feelings. If she says, "I feel like no one at work appreciates what I do," don't just say, "That's tough." Try, "You feel like your hard work is being overlooked." That would upset anyone. This shows you're not just hearing her words but understanding her emotions. Match her energy. If she's excited about something, match her enthusiasm. If she's upset, lower your tone and be calm. This creates a sense of alignment that draws her closer. Imagine she's telling you about a trip she's planning with her friends. Instead of just saying, "That sounds fun," you could say, "I bet you're looking forward to escaping and just relaxing with them. What part are you most excited about?" This takes the conversation deeper and shows genuine interest. Pitfall to avoid. Don't fake it. Women can sense when you're just going through the motions. Emotional resonance requires sincerity. If you don't understand how she feels, ask questions like, "Can you tell me more about that?" This shows you care and want to understand. Now you've mastered emotional resonance, but here's the big question. How do you keep the connection alive and evolving over time? That's where emotional investment comes into play. Let's talk about building a bond so strong it becomes unbreakable. Number 5, the emotional investor. Here's a truth that most people miss. Relationships don't thrive on feelings alone. They thrive when both people actively invest in each other. Emotional investment is what takes a connection from casual to meaningful and makes her feel like she's found something rare and irreplaceable. Emotional investment is about creating a relationship where both of you are deeply involved in each other's growth, happiness, and well-being. It's not just about spending time together. It's about making that time count. I know a guy named Jake who used to struggle in his relationships. His girlfriend once told him, "It feels like you're just here, but not really present." Jake realized he wasn't investing enough emotionally, so he started small. like remembering her favorite coffee order and surprising her after a stressful day. Over time, he learned to show up for her in meaningful ways, like celebrating her wins and supporting her dreams. She started saying things like, "I've never felt this supported before." That's the power of emotional investment. When you invest emotionally, it shows that you're serious about the relationship. It creates a sense of security and mutual care, which strengthens the bond. Think of it as planting seeds. You water them consistently, and they grow into something beautiful. How to invest emotionally? Be fully present. When you're together, put away distractions. Turn off the TV, put your phone down, and give her your full attention. Presence is one of the most valuable things you can offer. Celebrate her wins. Whether it's a promotion at work or finishing a big project, acknowledge her accomplishments. Say things like, "I'm so proud of you," or "You inspire me with how hard you worked for this." Support her goals. Ask her about her dreams and how you can help. If she's working on a personal project, show interest. For example, if she's into photography, ask to see her favorite shots or offer to join her on a photo walk. Create shared experiences. Go beyond routine activities and create memories together. Plan a surprise date, start a new hobby together, or take a spontaneous road trip. Shared experiences deepen your connection and give you stories to look back on. Common mistakes to avoid. Being overbearing. Emotional investment doesn't mean smothering her. It's about balanced effort, not constantly trying to fix or manage her life. Expecting instant gratification. Like any investment, emotional investment takes time to show results. Patience is key. Real-life exercise. This week, try this. Ask her about something she's passionate about and listen without interrupting. Then follow up a few days later with a thoughtful question or gesture related to that passion. For example, if she loves running, ask how her latest run went, or surprise her with a playlist for her next jog. Now that you've learned how to invest emotionally, let's talk about how to take that bond and turn it into a foundation for a relationship that grows stronger every day. That's where the concept of emotional legacy comes in. Number 6, the emotional legacy. Every great relationship has a story, a legacy that defines what you've built together. Emotional legacy is about creating moments, traditions, and values that last beyond today. It's what makes your relationship meaningful, memorable, and unshakable. Emotional legacy is the imprint you leave on each other. It's the small traditions, shared dreams, and unforgettable moments that define your relationship. When you build an emotional legacy, you're not just living in the present, you're shaping a future that both of you will cherish. Let me tell you about Claire and Dan. They started a simple tradition. Every year on their anniversary, they'd write down their favorite memory from the past year and put it in a jar. Over time, the jar became a treasure trove of their shared journey, proof of everything they'd built together. On their 10th anniversary, they spent hours reading through those memories, laughing, crying, and realizing just how much they meant to each other. That's the power of emotional legacy. Creating an emotional legacy isn't just romantic, it's foundational. It gives your relationship a sense of purpose and direction, making you feel like you're building something bigger than yourselves. And when tough times come, your legacy serves as a reminder of why you're in this together. How to build an emotional legacy. Create meaningful traditions. Traditions don't have to be elaborate. It could be as simple as a weekly game night, a monthly hike, or an annual trip to your favorite spot. What matters is consistency. It's these rituals that become the glue of your relationship. Document your journey, capture your moments together. Write letters to each other, keep a scrapbook, or create a photo album. These tangible reminders are priceless when you look back on how far you've come. Dream big, together. Talk about your future, what kind of life you want to build, the places you want to visit, the experiences you want to share. Dreaming together creates a shared vision and deepens your connection. Celebrate milestones. Don't just let achievements pass by. Whether it's a work promotion, a personal goal, or even surviving a tough week, celebrate it together. These celebrations add richness to your legacy. Real-life exercise. Start a simple legacy project this week. Write down one goal you want to achieve together in the next year. Maybe it's learning a new skill, planning a trip, or starting a creative project. Work on it step by step and watch how it brings you closer. When you build an emotional legacy, you're creating something that lasts. It's not just about being in a relationship, it's about creating a partnership that's meaningful, joyful, and unforgettable. So now you've got all the tools, from polarizing emotions to building an emotional legacy. It's time to take action. Try one of these steps this week and watch how your relationship transforms. Remember, growth comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing challenges. Don't be afraid to upset a woman. How to polarize her emotions and increase attraction is about understanding that genuine connection often arises from emotional honesty and authenticity. By daring to explore the depths of human interaction, you open doors to deeper relationships and personal growth. If this message resonates with you, show your support by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Goddess channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective, and make sure to ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing videos. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.